Mr. Albanese, talking about the debt front, Vedanta's debt stands around 31,500 crore. That's the figure which was as of March 31st, 2015. So, what is your outlook over there? Are you planning to pay down the debt going forward? And where can an investor expect the debt levels to be by the end of maybe NFY 16 and going forward in FY 17?
At the Vedanta Limited level, which is the entity that the Cairn shareholders would be receiving shares in, our overall balance sheet is quite robust. If you look at the net debt, if you look at the gross debt at that level, and if you look at our financial results for last year, even during a period of peak spending in many of our businesses and a period where we had volatile commodity prices, Vedanta on its own paid down its debt. And that's what we told the market, that we're going to continue to delever. So I think this merger is independent of the overall efforts to delever the balance sheet. The objective of this merger is having the most effective allocation of capital for the best opportunities that are the broad suite of commodities. Because we want to grow all the businesses. Because if I look at the future of India, the future of India is going to need more oil, but it's going to need more copper, it's going to need more zinc, it's going to need more iron ore and steel, it's going to need more aluminum. All the products are needed. We want to grow in all those businesses.
But I'm asking you this question because the concern has been the debt part of it. Because till now, everyone has been believing that the 17,000 crore on the cash-rich Cairn India book will be used towards paring down the debt of Vedanta itself. So, that is the question. Will that be happening? Will you be using that cash once the merger actually takes place?
I think, again, we will have 9 months for the merger to take place. And we'll look at the best allocation of capital the board's determined at that point in time. Our focus is growing the business. Our focus is increasing the dividend to shareholders. We had a nice increase in the dividend of the shareholders over the course of the past fiscal year. And that will be, the strategy for Vedanta is unchanged. The strategy for Cairn is unchanged.
Sure. So a question commonly to both of you. So first I will ask you, now recently both the companies on the group level as well as on the Cairn front, both the companies have reduced the capex plan by nearly 50%. What was the logic behind the same? And will this have any kind of impact in terms of the, आपका किसी तरह का जो performance या फिर आपके actual working pattern के ऊपर?
Maybe I'll start by saying that if you look at the global commodity sector, whether it's mining and metals or oil and gas, everyone has been cutting their capital, and for 2 reasons. One of all, that we no longer see that growth profile globally that's been driven by the economic boom over the past 10 years in China. China has been the driver of the markets for both metals and oil and gas. That economy has been slowing down. I was just in Beijing last week listening to some experts and talking about where that Chinese economy is going. It will continue to grow, but at a slower pace. So pricing is more subdued in some cases where there's oversupply, like in oil or in iron ore. We've seen prices drop off considerably. And our capital programs, our capital spending reflects the reality of the marketplace.
So over here, I would like to ask you, are the fears which are being persisting around here in India about China, have they been already priced in?
My own view is, and I've been saying this now because I've been going to China now for 20 years. My first visit to China was actually in 1984, and it's been a phenomenal growth story. There is still more urbanization. Every time I visit China, I see more cars on the road. I see newer buildings. I see where I believe India will be 10 years from now. So it is economic growth. It is consumptive to energy and to minerals and metals. So again, but in this environment, it's beginning to slow. And again, the global economists and certainly Chinese policymakers have been flagging. It's a 5-year plan. It shows that their economy is slowing. So what we're seeing is reflective in that. I think we're in a slow growth mode for China, but from a larger overall economy. So it's not great for us, but it's not bad for us.
Sure. माथुर साहब, so अभी मोदी गवर्नमेंट को भी 1 साल हो गया पावर में, तो क्या गवर्नमेंट ने किया है जो आपके हिसाब से अच्छे मूव्स रहे हैं? क्या ये गवर्नमेंट ने मिस आउट कर दिया लैंड एक्विजिशन बिल है या फिर एक जीएसटी है जैसे बिल्स, और ऐसे कई मूव्स हुए हैं जो एक ग्लोबल कंपनी लाइक अ वेदांता कमिंग इन इनटू इंडिया एंड बिहाइंड द मोदी गवर्नमेंट व्हिच विल बेनिफिट बोथ द कंपनीज म्यूचुअली?
No, well, firstly, we've all seen that the Modi government has taken all the steps in the right direction. Now, in India, you're trying to move a mountain. It's not going to happen overnight, right? But the direction is clear. We see the push. The momentum is beginning to pick up. We are beginning to see the change in the credit cycle. And that's what we are banking on, right? And that's the reason Tom is saying the deal is so value creative that if you look at the group, it's so well invested. The moment we see that movement in infrastructure, it will be just a one-way street up.
Even if you look at last year, where the economy and the growth in India was relatively subdued, demand for copper and aluminum increased by 10%. So people are consuming, there's more manufacturing going on, still for a slow base, but 10% year-on-year growth is actually attractive. And as that continues, India has a choice. Either it imports from Africa and Australia and other parts of the world, or it finds itself for that Make in India agenda.
So just one final question, sir, to you. Like we are ending on a positive note, right? On India itself, you have a positive view over there. So can we see Vedanta investing more going ahead in the future in India growth story?
Definitely. I'm very pleased with the government's recent decision on MMDR. I intend to start our own exploration. I hope that this will open up areas in India, not just in the oil and gas area, which has been a long-stated policy, but also in mining. I believe that there's gold to be found in India. I believe there's copper to be found in India. I believe there's more zinc to be found in India. There's more bauxite in India. There's some of the best iron ore fields in the world are in India. I've been involved with diamond exploration and diamond discovery in India. So the whole suite of products that not only Indian industry needs, but also Indian consumers want are here in India. Now it will take technology, it will take the best practice global exploration. I mean, this is the whiz-bang stuff you see coming out of the labs all over the world, MITs, et cetera. That needs to be employed. And we're already employing it in oil and gas. We're employing it in the mining business in India. We want to continue to employ that. We want to set up R&D centers in India. Right now, some of the BPOs, some of the IT sectors in India are doing some great R&D for global mining companies, for global oil and gas companies, but not for Indian mining companies. So we should be using it in India for Indian mining companies, and we should be using Indian graduates for that. And it's all there. We will need to have some policy reform, and this government is marching down that, and MMDR was a good example of that policy reform. All of this requires capital. All of this requires significant investments. You can't build a mine at less than $1 billion. You can't build an oil field without a couple $1 billion. So resource champions that have access to the world's capital, that can be attracting a low cost of capital, that can then be allocating that capital efficiency is what we're all about, and that's what this merger is all about.
Sure, sir. Thanks a lot. Thank you for joining us on Zee Business. Thank you, Mr. Tom Albanese.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mathur. Thank you. Thank you for your time. That was Mr. Tom Albanese, CEO of Vedanta Group, along with Mr. Sudhir Mathur, CFO of Cairn India, joining us on Zee Business.